It makes me think of a consult, just a catch up with a member that I had this week, and it was around trying to put together the training and just checking in, like really loving the body weight program, but help me understand it a bit better, and I want to plan out kind of where I'm going in the next 3 months, etc.
That was what they said.
Yeah, that's what they wanted to meet for. I was like, oh, cool, let's do it before class. Sat down and looked at it all, and a very intelligent person started training with one of our coaches here. I'm trying to keep it all anon. A deep thinker, and, really connecting with the training deeply in a way that sometimes I don't have the depth for. I'm more kind of on that spectrum. I'm closer to the doing.
Yep. And
anyway, I'm in this conversation, and there's all this detail in it, of course, and really, really great questions. Just finished a master's thesis. And I'm like, okay, so tell me a bit more history. So before you came here, you said you were doing jiu-jitsu, and that's how you got injured and you came here. How long were you doing jiu-jitsu for? 9 months. And what were you training before then? Nothing. Okay, and so you haven't done any other training in your life? I'm like, no. And, it's a female wants to chin up. And I'm like, if you were my client, I wouldn't worry so much about the specifics you're asking me about here, which was chin-ups and stuff and handstands. I'm like, you don't really need to know about that. You've got so much newbie gains on the table right now. I'd just put you through training in general GPP training, and I would start as a base from there. Right now, you don't want to put all your eggs into body weight just for those specific goals. You're specifying way too early. You need to add S&M to what you're doing and keep doing the lifting and touch on body weight too. But in this first half of the year, don't worry about it. Just get strong fucking everywhere. Which was just something that I guess that conversation, and you know exactly what I'm saying, right? It's very relevant to lots of people actually in the gym.
The specific goals conversation?
Yeah, the specific goals. It's like, I want you to have specific goals, and you should have that for a year from now. But right now, just fucking do this and just get strong, a really strong foundation everywhere. Because in the S&M is conditioning that skill is going to hide you from. Because it's like, just spend time doing specific drills for a specific skill. No, you need to do lunges, 200 lunges, and fucking 200 push-ups and all that sort of stuff just to get strong, just to get conditioned, just to learn how to build more tension in your body and deal with that on that kind of level of intensity.
Yeah, you're getting at like when you're at the start of the thing, you don't know what your goals are. Like you might have a goal, but you're not really educated enough yet to know what's a good goal for you to go for.
Yeah, that's right.
In a respectful way.
Yes, yeah. And
which means, sure, if you want to chase that thing, cool,
yeah,
but
exactly.
Let's build a base.
That person in particular was intelligent enough to ask my advice, and I gave her the answer. So that was an intelligent process that we went through.
Yeah.
Not to say
and
that
took
she
your
wasn't,
advice.
and took my advice. So that's actually, kudos to her. But it's a true thing. And you asked me before, like, what are you going to talk about in the newsletter today? And there was that came to my mind that maybe I'll pass that on in the email as well. Just because I think it's relevant to a lot of people. Just stick to it sometimes.
It's an action-packed email.
I know, that's what I'm like. I've chucked in
sounds like ammo for the next 3 weeks.
There is actually, because I've got Dylan's thoughts coming in this week.
Oh, that's a segment?
There's a segment, and he's just writing a paragraph.
Yeah.
So he's got that coming in, and it's cool.
Yeah, bro, water it down. I'm bringing this intro in.
Brah.
Let's talk about this muscle up piece. I want to, because it was funny. You posted that thing on Instagram. A bunch of people in the gym hitting their goals.
Yeah.
Me saw it yesterday. She's like, "Fuck, heaps of people getting their muscle up. How good's that?" And I can't remember what she said, but I was reflecting on why I think that has come about. And I was saying, no, I don't think it's so much like that the training has all of a sudden produced like I said, I think it's a bit of a trend because a few people have been chasing it.
Yep.
And so it's become this thing that's kind of caught on with folks that are like, oh, I want to do that.
Yep.
And so it's like it's in the zeitgeist at the moment.
Exactly.
And so there's people that are kind of almost there that perhaps last week were not thinking about it. And now they're like, oh, that looks cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, just practice it a few times and you'll probably get it. And, you know, and then not to take away, there are people that have been working on it as well.
Yes,
but
yep.
is it that sort of thing, like a bit of a wildfire?
Well, you talk about the zeitgeist and who is influencing and creating that. And it's us. And, you know, Dylan's heavily into rings and muscle ups is something that he really loves to coach. So what we do and what we show value in is what our tribe is going to see value in and want to do.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't wake up one morning and say, oh, I really want to do a movement where I pull myself above the rings and then I lock out, like, you know?
Yeah.
So they've learnt it from us as parents, children seeing they want to be like their parents. So, yeah, so we have created that, right? And then, so what happened was one of our members, Tana, has been working towards, and she set that goal when we did goal setting, like yearly goal setting.
Yep.
She said to me, I want to do the muscle up by the end of the year. I was like, you're going to have to find a new goal like way before then because you're going to nail that. Like I know what it takes and I've seen what you're doing. And I was just like, just build up to your 5x5 and, you know, and the 5x5 and the dips and the chins. And you know, when she nailed it, I sent her a message. I was like, it's fucking Feb 14th.
We're 6 weeks
I told
in.
you. Yeah, and you just did it. So she, you know, she's actually been working with her push and pull since last year,
Right.
knowing that she wanted it. And then she wrote it down through our kind of goal setting process.
Yep.
And then one afternoon this week, she was like, I'm just going to give it a go. And just boom, and was up there.
Wow.
And that sparked Samir saw it and just had a go. And he was like, and he's got the strength. It was just like, didn't know the transition piece, but had a nice pull, nice
Fuck
high
it, I'll
pull.
figure it out when I'm up there.
Figure it out when and just did.
Wow.
And I don't know how Dylan Chapman's came along, but I believe it was something like that as well.
Yeah,
He
right.
wasn't training for it specifically, but man, he's been doing PT with Kai and training in the classes. Like he loves body weight. He's been getting mobility was his first thing, but Kai and him have been doing strength. You know, all of the building blocks for a muscle up. And I believe it was just like, fuck, everyone's doing, I'm going for it. Bang.
And then there was Beck like only a few weeks ago, right?
Yes. And
Doing the PT thing with Dills.
that's right. And he had the muscle up group going and that runs during class. So everyone's looking at him doing it.
And I think for sure when, like, respectfully, when a woman does it, I think that would put the heat up a lot of dudes.
That's
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because a lot of dudes have been like trying to do that shit for a long time and can't. And then you see like Beck doing it, Tanny, like, fuck.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, man. So
It's interesting that thing about you sort of dictating the goals to the people. I've thought about that a lot. I remember talking with Logan about it and we kind of touched on it sort of in the intro there. Like your culture really dictates to people what their goals are going to be.
yeah.
You're telling them this is what's cool. This is what's valued. So when that kind of classic personal trainer thing of like sit down with the new recruit and be like, what are your goals? It's kind of a silly, like it's a bit of a redundant question because they're usually
They're going to
just,
tell you what you want to hear.
that's right, because they want to make you happy and they're there in your gym watching people do handstands and deadlifts and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's it definitely makes more sense for people who have some training experience, right?
Yeah.
Because they've been on a journey, they have their own ideas.
Hey, I'm Paul. I'm a handstand and muscle up coach. So what are your goals?
That's right.
That's funny. And I was joking with Sammy here yesterday because he was telling me how he was playing country music in his class and everyone was digging it and they love it. I'm like, you're the coach, man. You're the coach. Of course they're going to love it. You're stronger than all of them, bro. Ask me what I think.
So true.
He's gone now.
It's like that episode of The Sopranos where someone tells Tony, like someone makes a joke, like they only like he's saying how he's funny.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you think you're funny? He's like, well, I tell you jokes, people laugh. She's like, you're the boss.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? And then like over the
Dawns
next
on
week,
him,
he's like
paranoid.
in these moments, like rerealizing, fuck, like everyone's.
What a show.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And the way that like he'll say something and they'll be like, isn't that funny? Like just way over the top. And he's like, he sees through it.
Yes.
Fuck. Man, I got like Instagram has done, like social media has done a lot to keep certain shows and movies alive. And The Sopranos lives on for me in social media.
I need to get on that algorithm.
Oh.
'Cause I don't get enough of it.
Bro, you need to get on it. It's there and it's YouTube as well. YouTube's really good for that. You know, people doing compilations and like
Yes.
scene analysis and stuff. You watch a couple and then it's just like serving you up. Oh, you know, here's a breakdown of this classic scene. Yeah, some of it's shit, but most of it's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that stuff, especially when it's the reference point for you is a hitter.
Yeah, and it allows you to love something for like years on. Like it extends its life, you know?
Yep.
But yeah, that goals thing, it's interesting. That I don't think any of that's necessarily a bad thing, right? Like,
Yep. That's the way it works. That's kind of the way humans work.
pretty much, right? And I guess the way we kind of frame things is that the goal itself doesn't usually matter that much. It's just the act of setting a goal and going after it. That's really, really where the value lies. And then you attain the thing or you don't, but it was of value, you would hope. Like that process was good.
Yeah,
was,
yeah,
you know,
gotcha.
beneficial.
And look, anyone can come to us with whatever goal they want. I'd love to hear all of them. But at the same time, if someone...
No one's shown up with like a fucking marathon goal.
That's right, because that's not what we do here. So they are coming here in a kind of a niche. They're like, oh, they do bodyweight training, gymnastics, calisthenics, and they lift weights. And so, you know, there's something to be said about that kind of natural segmentation. They come to where this is because some part of them says that's the type of stuff that I want to do. So, yeah, I've got a really cool guy that I just started coaching.
How cool.
He's growing on me. He's actually like not immediately cool at all externally. He's quite... But I had a breakthrough with him today, so it was kind of cool. We've only done a few sessions, but he wants to learn how to fight, you know, and just kind of play in that realm, and someone who's not had anything to do with that and not sporty otherwise as well. So it's really like just those natural athletic patterns, balance, footwork doesn't come naturally.
Yep.
And, you know, it's cool as he came to me with that goal, because typically people are coming for something more to do with strength or a skill. And it was like, oh, I want to learn this for confidence, personal confidence, you know, and I also want to be able to balance. Balance was a big thing for him. And
in a particular scenario?
It was more about the confidence.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and balance is inside of that. And without, I won't go deeply into the backstory, but it's been cool just starting with someone that can't, like, you know, from scratch, you know, and if you can imagine, you know, what's required for the striking, you need the footwork, and it's just like really foundational patterning of the feet and then bringing the hands into it. And it's been cool because I haven't done that for a while from that level, and it's enjoyable actually. Yeah.
That's cool. That's quite a higher order sort of goal, isn't it? Like the confidence thing.
Yeah.
Like most people aren't going to that dimension. They're like more, I don't know, more kind of, it's a bit more linear. It's like, oh, I want to be able to do X.
Yeah.
Just thinking that not all goals are created equal. I remember when we first started the goal setting process at the gym, we had a member at the time, won't mention names. I think it was like movement goal, like here's a movement board, like everyone's going to choose a movement-based goal. And he put 20 burpees.
Was this back at Pemberton Street?
Yeah.
Who was it?
I can't. I'll tell you after. And I was like, yeah, didn't want to be critical, right? Because it's like, you fucking...
Thanks
it
for
was
stepping out there.
one of the only few people to put a goal up on the board. That's the
Yep.
first thing. So you're like, all right, well, I've asked and they've given. And but I'm like, 20 burpees, man? Like, I'm like, if I put a gun to your head right now, you could do 20 burpees, right?
I think I know who it is now.
Yeah, I'm like, could you not? He's like, oh, I mean, not good ones. I'm like, who gives a fuck? You can do it. Like, let's go with something else, man. But it's, it was just, we hadn't whatever. Obviously the culture hadn't dictated the sorts of goals. Yeah, and it's fine. I don't know if you ever got them or not. Sure you did.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
But yeah, there is a thing there where it's like, yeah, the process is important. Don't just more reps of something is usually not going to be that impactful. It's like that app, the do 100 push-ups or whatever. It's like that's, whatever. You're going to go on a journey, but it's not going to really pay much in terms of dividends.
Well, what we had on the movement goal thing that we made over Christmas that we released in the new year, was all based around the JB milestones,
right?
As a guide. So we were looking to have people set a 1-year movement goal, and we had the milestones there, which were guided from what our milestones, which is to do with body weight and lift and mobility and energy system development. And so, hey, pick something here relevant to you or another movement goal, but here is a guide for you. And so we were setting the culture and giving people an idea by holding the JB standards up to them. Because in the milestones, so people know, in each section, there is a soft rating on them. There's kind of beginner to intermediate to expert, and we've used some jungle language. I think it starts with carb or spawn, something like that.
Spawn, I believe you added.
And then
spawn, cub.
There's
adolescent or teen,
something like that. Elderly, alpha, elder,
yeah,
elderly, and then alpha sort of thing. So in that, people can look at it and go, okay, this is where I am in the standards of the jungle. And actually the standards of the jungle was set by us almost as a standard for a jungle, like physical movement against the environment, not against comparison with anyone else. It's like against the environment. You want to be able to, jump a bit and climb up something, have to climb up a fucking tree, and it's kind of expressed inside with sets, reps, and specific movements.
Yep.
So that was probably a better process than back in the day, back at Pemberton Street, where it was like, hey, just dream up one. But that's kind of how far we've come after all that time. And there was more stuff in there. There was an educational piece inside there, so they could know how to set it.
Do some visualization. Sit down and think about what you really want. 20 burpees. My guy.
That's right.
You're a creative thinker. What's a goal for you at the moment? What do you got in your training piece? You got something you're chasing movement-wise?
I do. I just followed the same process as the members. Handstand push-up by the end of the year.
Freestanding?
And reverse ring roll. What is it?
Backwards
reverse
roll. Ring roll,
backwards roll. And, Dylan keeps looking at me going, fuck, you could do that easy, like a lot sooner. But it's also based on, and this is the key one inside of the process, is it's based on how much time you're also willing to dedicate to that. And if that was the only thing that I had to train and it was a goal with blinkers on either side and I was just doing that, sure I could. But actually I only want to train this much a week and I want to lift twice a week and I want to do this and that. So slow progress towards that. That's what I'm doing.
It's good.
Yeah.
I like it. Are you doing, are both of those happening concurrently, or are you going to go like handstand piece, go after that with more volume and then ring piece later?
Yeah, I'm kind of doing both at the same time.
Okay.
I'm just building push and pull at the moment. I haven't been on the rings much in the last 6 to 8 months or whatever.
Yeah.
So I've just been literally started on the boxes and the bar, doing chin-ups and dips, and now I'm on the rings and putting a bit of weight on now. And then, but what my 3-month goal is to get my fucking shoulder fixed. I've just been doing kind of rehab with the physio.
It's been going on for a while, eh?
Yeah, it has. And I've always had different problems on either shoulder. It's just like what happens when you live a life. So yeah, I've actually had a breakthrough this week, which was really cool. I did 5x5 pike push-ups, like with elevated, like handstand push-ups, kind of piked on a box, which not that advanced, but
not that easy.
Not that easy.
Pretty fucking heavy, to be honest.
It was more that I don't have pain and I actually feel stable in the shoulder.
Yeah, right.
Because prior to that, I couldn't just do a pike push-up with my toes on the floor without shaking and feeling jacked up afterwards and stuff like that. So
that's great.
The stuff I've been doing with the physio has been great and it's working. So I was quite excited about that. Yeah, I can build on that. So the 3-month goal is to do a couple of reps on the wall. Because at the moment I can't even train on the wall because that's too heavy and fucks my shoulder.
Feels gnarly.
Yeah, it's just collapses. But yeah, so I'm happy with that.
These fucking 40-year-old shoulders, bro.
Mate, I know I've been carrying more and more people on them, but every year I get older, you know?
Yeah.
How about you?
What am I doing training wise? The only real goals in my like strength and movement stuff is
front splits.
Yeah, front split and back bend, which they're both there to an extent, but I would really like the front split to be like clean.
It's so close. Like you
It is. Close. I think I need to I've just been hammering away at actually doing front splits. I probably need to bring some different drills into the mix and maybe do it more than once a week. I think if I want to really teabag the earth. In the way that I visualize doing so.
Visualize it.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah. And the back bend's there, but I want it to be I just want it to be sick. I want like straight legs, flat feet.
Wow.
Sick arch. And I want to be able to move in and out of it.
Mate.
Yeah, that's kind of the goal. Like if I could do a back bend and like bridge into it, out of it, or drop back into it, I think the drop back in the purest sense, like you might see a 9-year-old female gymnast do, I'm probably never going to achieve that.
Yeah.
But some kind of sissy squat into drop back, you know?
And then extend the legs out and then walk over.
The backwards walkover would be sick.
Walkover is a good way of just kind of articulating the whole thing. Do a walkover.
Yeah.
Do a beautiful walkover. An efficient walkover. That's wicked. I like the back bend one, just like being a jiu-jitsu black belt. 40 years old, because right now where your bridge is at, is it the best it's ever been? Or back in the day, was it
probably it's probably back to as good as it ever was.
Because I used to do some of those sissy squat.
I did.
Stuff with the loco, yeah?
Yeah.
Back bridges.
Yeah. But so the sissy squat one, like mechanically there's not much bridge in it.
Yes.
So it's more just about having the confidence and getting the timing right. And I played around with those a couple of weeks ago and I can do them.
Awesome.
But, I do want to I want the shape of that back bend to be like Primos.
Chest is straight up and down.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
like thoracic is vertical.
Yeah.
And then it's just this nice bend through the lower thoracic and lumbar.
Wow. That's a cool goal. Like I've seen the front splits and now I think about I've seen you doing a bit of back bend, but I didn't know that was like on the menu like the front splits were, but they go well together.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, both kind of front chain piece, flexors and all that. And then I got some stuff with my jits and whatever, but yeah, I don't have any real strength goals, which is fine.
Fuck yeah.
Just doing it.
Yeah, just am.
I fucking hit them all.
Well,
I carved the path of this whole shit.
That's right. I'm chasing your numbers still.
Bruh. I had, for the younger players, on their original goals board, I had one arm chin up on there for like 3 years.
I remember.
I never got it.
I remember.
I was like, I'm out. Fuck this one arm chin up. It's cooking my elbows. I don't even enjoy training it.
It doesn't look like an enjoyable movement at all.
Nah, it looks enjoyable when you can do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the training for it, I was like, this really sucks.
In the circles that we kind of watch, right, as coaches and like all coaches and anyone in movement bodyweight training know that that's like one of the big strength milestones for pulling.
Yeah.
So at some point, a lot of people in that realm are showing that or training towards getting that milestone, but it never looks fun ever. And even when you do it, to me, it doesn't look like a movement that I'm very attracted to training something that looks cool, and it just never looks cool to me.
Yeah, right. I mean, fair, right?
Some other strength things I can go, oh, fuck, that's wicked. Like, I love seeing the strength expressed that way, but this way just looks, I don't know.
Fucking Will Grant posted the other day.
Yeah.
He's got one arm pull up. So like overhand grip.
Yep. On a bar.
Yeah. And I was like, damn. I know he's like, he did it and then he's like, didn't have it on the left side. And I was like, sucked in. Can't do it on both. And then he's like, got chin up on both sides, but not pull up. I was like, damn it.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I was like, wow, that's sick, you know?
Yeah, it's a lot.
I don't know. I look at say him doing that. I look at Roy Gold and I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be fucking awesome. But I mean, this is Ito's classic analogy of the one arm handstand being the sausage factory. Everyone loves eating sausages until they visit the factory and see how they're made.
Yes.
And it's like all those strength goals look awesome.
Yeah.
And then you get in there and you're like, this is fucked. This is gonna hurt. You know, this is gonna be really boring, frustrating, and for a long time.
Yes.
Food for thought.